Well, hello, Jake Brydon with RoofLink, and I want to give you a high-level overview of the total roofing automation software that we built for roofing contractors. There's nothing else on the market that has all the tools that roofing contractors need in one place. So there's no redundant data entry, there's no overlap, everything is streamlined. Our goal is that you can do more roofs with less people. You know, when I first got started in the roofing business, my overhead was growing as fast as my sales force, and so we'd make money all spring and summer and we'd give it back in the wintertime. And so being fully automated with RoofLink has allowed me to grow a sales team of over 40 sales reps with only 3 people in my corporate office. Prior to automating with RoofLink, we had about 35 sales reps and 12 people in our corporate office. And so that's the whole goal with it. There's a lot of different products out there sold to roofing contractors, but most of them are going to require you to hire more people. With RoofLink, our goal is to let the computers do the part that we do over and over again, empower our salespeople to quickly move a job through the process and really reduce that need for overhead in your corporate office. And so let me take you on a tour real quick. What you're going to notice here on our home page is you've got these tabs up here at the top, and these are everything in RoofLink is completely customizable now. It wasn't that way when we first launched it. So if you saw RoofLink really 1.0, none of this stuff was customizable, but now you can call these things whatever you want to call them. So we can rename these tabs and we can call them whatever we want. So this is really going to be set up as our kind of our production flow, and you can really set that up however you want to. Same thing with the widgets. We can change these widgets out and we can rename them. If we want to call this just AR, we can do that. This caused a lot of problems for a lot of people that were trying to migrate to RoofLink. You know, if we call them prospects and you call them opportunities, that creates a training need for your team. Now you can call them whatever you want to. So that's a huge update for us. These widgets can be put in any order that you want to and under any tab that you want to. These tabs are basically just groups of widgets. And so the way that I have mine set up, and again, you're free to set it up however you want to, is I've got my overview here. And this is just my basic 1,000-foot view of my business operations. If I want to get into a granular level on sales, then I would create a sales tab and I would have multiple widgets that, you know, year to date, monthly, weekly, like I do on my leads board here. So I've got leads, and that just tells me that I've created 8 leads for the day or week. And then when I click on the leads tab, it actually has multiple widgets that breaks those down into what each one of those things are. We've got 530 old leads, 29 unassigned leads, 143 unverified, and 14 verified leads. So that's kind of the way that that works is you can put these widgets in any group that you want, and you can put them in any order you want. So if you want to make it like a production flow across the top, you can do that. But really, there's a lot of flexibility. So for you smaller companies, you may only need, you know, 6 or 7 of these widgets. Great, just use that. We don't want to overcomplicate. A lot of people work hard to make a straight line crooked. We don't want to do that. We want to make the line as straight as possible, as easy as we possibly can. And so this dashboard setup, your process flow setup is all very important to that. But let's talk about how we put a job in the system. So there's 2 ways. We can click this plus lead button at the top, or we can click on the map. So I'm going to do it from the map, and I'm just going to scroll over here and pick a house. Now there's a couple of settings on our map. If we want to see the hybrid where it has the street names, we can do that. Or if we just want to see the satellite, we can see that as well. If we want to see a little better imagery. So I'll go over here, and it looks like this is an area that I might want to focus on. Let's find a house that I want to measure. It's going to automatically pull up the homeowner's data here. This is one-click lead creation. This gives us the ability as salespeople to just click on the home that's in front of us and select the status of that lead. So we're going to say that we're preparing an estimate. If I want to change the lead status, I can click that pencil button and change it to whatever I want. But let's go ahead and measure this roof for this guy. Now, I've got a pretty good Google image here. Let me pull this screen up to where you guys can see it. So I've got a pretty good Google image here, but if I wanted to check out and see what the near map imagery look like. This is something that you would pay for. Now on this, because we're kind of in a rural area, there is no near map photos for this, which happens quite a bit. But you've got the Google image. If the near map photo helps you, you can use that. In this case, we're not going to need it, so I'll just go ahead and proceed. But we are integrated with Nearmap, so if you have an account with them, or you can buy credits for them through us for those places that you need pictures in the wintertime for tree coverage, or the Google imagery is taken at a weird angle, stuff like that. But we do have that integration. That's kind of a recent development as well. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click the four corners. Well, in this case, there's a lot more than four, but I'm going to click each one of these facets, and I'm just going to do the perimeter. That is really the main difference between us and most of these other measuring tools that you'll see out there. And the reason we did it this way is because we want our sales guys to use it. If it takes a lot of time for them to do this and figure it out because they have to measure every single facet of the roof, they won't use it. And so we wanted to make it to where all they had to do was just do the perimeter. If you want to do something where your guys have to draw it all out, that's fine. There's a lot of tools out there for you. But at RoofLink, I'm going to take this out to the corner. A lot of times our guys are there on site, so they could see where the actual corner of this house went. But because I'm just demonstrating the tool and the accuracy of this drawing isn't that important to us, I'll go ahead and proceed. So I'm going to select my pitch. I'm going to select the waist. Again, this is designed to be done on an iPad from the field so your guys can see exactly what they're looking at. What I tell my guys to do is when the adjuster has indicated that he's buying the roof and he's going through and doing all his stuff, sit up there on that rooftop and draw the roof out on your iPad. That way you can drop in all the accessories exactly where they're going to go. And now all we're going to have to do is draw our ridges. So we've got the perimeter, which gives us the basic square count. And you can see here that we've already got the basic square count. This is a 53.1 squares with waist. But now I'm going to go back and draw in my hips and ridges, which in this house, there's not a lot of that. We've only got one ridge here and two valleys. Okay, and so if we were going to put gutters on this house, we could select between any of the eaves. You'll notice it doesn't give us the option to put gutters on rakes because you don't put gutters on rakes. But anything that's indicated that it's an eave, you can select those numbers, and it will turn those things white. And that's measuring for your gutter. So we're going to say that the insurance company just paid to put gutters on the front of this house. So that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to drop in some downspouts, first story. And we're going to put one here and one here. Everything that I'm doing on this drawing is going to make its way to my material order and my work order and my estimate. So what we've discovered is sales guys would rather draw and trace and drag and drop than they would typing out line items on an estimate. So we're going to get everything we need from this drawing, and then we're going to let the computer do all the work for them. All right, so now I'm going to drop in my low profiles. And I think they have it in here as turtle vents. And again, it will be your product library that our team will help develop for you. And so you can call these things whatever they call them in your area. But everything is product mapped to your price list with your suppliers. And very easy to update. All right, so we've got that. And it looks like we'll just call them a few pipe jacks. I'm not there at the roof, but so we'll say we've got 3.5 inches and two 2-inch and one 3-inch. All right, so in about 5 minutes, I've measured this roof. It's simultaneously going to create my material orders, work orders. If there's ridge vent on this home, we have a ridge vent tool that works like our gutter tool. You just select it, hit the number, and it'll turn it that burgundy color. So now I'm going to go to my overview, And I'm going to select the template that I want to use. In this case, I'm going to use Owens Corning duration with riser ridge, and I'm going to use ABC supply, and I'm going to call this an insurance bid. That just gives us the different type of estimate template that is going to come with it. Okay, so you'll see here that it's created my material order for me. It's created my work orders for both my gutters and my roofing and my estimate. So let's look at some of those things. Let's look and see what kind of material order it created for us here. So as you see here, all the way down to the box of nails, felt paper, everything was created automatically, including any of the accessories that I dropped into that drawing. How we do that is real simple. We product map these products to that drawing. So for every square of field that we're measuring, we need these elements in it. And so it uses the drawing to give you everything you need, which is going to make for much more accurate material orders and work orders, which is going to help you reduce your waste. I've found that one of the biggest waste factors in roofing is when we over-order materials, because I've never met a crew out there that won't use them if you send them, right? And so we want to get our material orders spot on. And then if the crew is short, we can back charge them to have to send out extra materials if they've in fact wasted too much. But I see a lot of contractors that get really hung up on granularly trying to figure out how many square inches are on this roof. And it's like, hey, none of that matters when you got a crew that throws half the shingle on the ground. Right, and so our measuring tool is accurate down to 4 square inches, and you can. I play, and half the time in demos I play Stump the Chump, where people will put me up against an eagle view, and I always get within a square. It's only as good as the guy using it, so you'll have to practice against a few eagle views, but it puts you in the driver's seat of really being able to determine, by using that roof measuring tool, honing your craft as a roofing contractor, to be able to really get it dialed in to where you know what's there, you know what you're sending, and then your crew is the variable, right? The constant. We're doing this the same way every time. Those crews are interchangeable, and they've got to play according to the music that we're playing here. And so that's really what we want to try to do, is standardize, simplify the system so that you have a better prediction of what it's going to cost you to actually do a roof. Once we know what it's going to cost you to do a roof, then matching insurance paperwork is easy. So we've got our material order. Same thing with our work order. Anything that we want to show up on the work order, we're going to tie to that roof layout. Now that wasn't a steep roof, but if it was, it would already have put steep charges on here for me to pay my crew. So I've got on here that it's paying them for 53 squares at $70 a square, and then it's paying for 128 linear feet of riser ridge. So that was created automatically. I don't have to wait around at 3 o'clock on a Friday for a crew to pencil out some kind of invoice on a Luby's napkin and fax it over to my office. I'm sending them a work order. They're accepting that work order, and that's what they're going to get paid on Friday. So that right there will eliminate a lot of need for overhead, because you won't have to have somebody sitting there catching these invoices as they come in, trying to decipher them, trying to tie them back to a job. No, it's real simple. We send out the work order. If there is a change order, there's a process for that. You can just add a manual work order to it. Same thing with material orders. If we need more stuff, then we can just add to that. But regardless, we don't need our subs and our vendors invoicing us. We already know what we've ordered. We already know what our pricing is. We'll let the computers tell us what we're going to pay them. And that cuts out a lot of people in your office having to mix and match all of that stuff. Again, our goal is not just to provide you with a great CRM. It's to provide you with a process that eliminates your overhead, right? So that you can make more money with less people. Okay, so we've got our material orders. We've got our work orders for our roofing and our gutters. And now we want to make our estimate match insurance paperwork. So if the customer provides us with that, great. If they don't, guess what? We've got this magically where it's going to put us in about 3 or 4% over what the insurance pricing is anyway. We don't really have to have their insurance paperwork. Most of you as roofing contractors know what the insurance is going to pay anyway. And so we've measured the roof. We've got an accurate count of what's going on there. We've got the gutters. And now we've got something that's already really close to insurance pricing. So if you've got that customer that's like, I'm not sending you my insurance paperwork. Great, no problem. I'll send you over an estimate. It's already done. I just fire this off to them, call it a cash deal, and they're going to get it and go, man, this is within 2 or 3% of my insurance cost. Well, I guess there's no reason to hold this back, and then they'll show it to you, right? So when you get in that tug of war with a customer, where the customer's saying, hey, I don't want to give you my insurance pricing, you're like, well, I can't give you an estimate then. And you start, the only way to win a tug of war against somebody that's bigger and stronger than you is to let go of the rope, right? The customer's got all the power in this deal. If they tell us that they don't want to give us their paperwork, that's fine. Let go of the rope. Here's my price. Oh, it's going to come in real close to what your insurance is paying if they're paying correctly. So, that's kind of how we recommend that guys use that is, don't play tug of war with the customer. Send them the estimate. You're going to be within a few points of their insurance paperwork, and let them know when you send that to them, hey, I'm going to send you over my price. If the insurance hasn't included something or forgotten or the pricing is off, whatever, just let me know and I can look at it and tell you if there's anything missing there. But here's my price. My price isn't dependent on what the insurance is paying, but I will match their price if it's close. And most of the time then your customers will gladly hand over that insurance paperwork after they've received that price from you. So that's really what we want to try to do here is, hey, here's my price. Okay, it's in alignment with insurance pricing, and then they give us the paperwork if we want to make it match. But we really don't care about it matching, because if I'm within a few $100s of insurance pricing, it doesn't matter to me, especially if I know I'm typically a few points over. We spend a lot of energy on this whole, tug of war, Texas Hold'em game we're playing, when in reality, we would be able to deliver a lot more estimates a lot quicker and get a lot more business. So what if we leave a couple of $100s on the table on this one deal? We might make it up on the next deal, but it's only going to put a couple $100s on the table if the homeowner knows how to properly invoice the insurance company, which they don't, which brings them back to you to say, hey, how do I get the rest of my money from my insurance company? And that's when you tell them you don't. Here's my price. This is what they're going to release. This is what you're going to pay me, and here's where we're at. And so I don't try to tell anybody how to run their business, but we built some tools to make those common objections a lot easier for roofing contractors that don't have to spend the time waiting. You don't want to send me your paperwork? No problem. I'll send it over. But let's pretend that they did give us their insurance paperwork. All we're going to do is click on these line items, and we're going to match RCV for RCV. So my price is telling me $18,585. Let's say insurance is paying $16,200. So $16,200. That's it. What is the depreciation on that line item? Let's call it $1,200. I'm going to match the roofing section total for the roofing section total. The depreciation is recoverable or it is not recoverable. Am I in a state that allows me to apply some deductible or not? That's up to you guys. I know that there's no roofers at the bar that cover deductibles, but there's a lot of them that do at the door. So you've got the ability to do that if your state allows it. Upgrades. Are you charging more than insurance proceeds? Let's say that the insurance company isn't paying for a fence, but the customer wants a fence. You could put that in as an upgrade. So let's say, I always tell my guys, hey, mark it up even if you're going to mark it down. But let's call this a $1,500 upgrade, and let's give them a $1,500 discount. Did we eat any of the deductible? No, we did not. We just marked down our upgrade. We marked down our marked up. So we're back to flush. We're back to square, and the customer's paying their deductible, and we're getting insurance proceeds. But everybody's going to feel like they got a good deal here. So let's look at this. We've got 16.2 here. I'll do the same thing for the gutters. Match those up. Let's just pretend that this is what insurance company's paying. Now let's say that there's only a couple $100s in depreciation on this deal, and they want to use the gutter money to cover their deductible. Okay, fine. We'll put in $200 in depreciation. And then we'll say that this is work not doing. So what you'll see here in our contract preview is that we've got, right now we don't have a deductible in there for the customer, but we've got $200 in non-recoverable because we're not doing the gutters, and the upgrades are $1,500, the discounts are $1,500, the work not doing is $1,263.75. So at this point in time, this customer would be keeping $1,000 of the work that we're not doing. So let's pretend that they did have a deductible. So I'm going to go back to the job page here, and I'm going to file a claim for this customer. This would typically happen when you're at the door with the homeowner. And we're going to say that it's AAA, make up a claim number here, and we'll say that their deductible is $2,000. We'll put in their policy number if we know it, type of loss, lost date. And we don't need to put the mortgage company stuff in there, but we can if they've got a check that's being held. So you'll notice that when I put that claim filed information in there, it put a checklist item in my prospect checklist. Again, this prospect checklist is completely customizable by company. So if you're not requiring your guys to do inspections, we'll take it out of your checklist for you. If you want to call it something else, we can change the name of it. So all of these things are now customizable in RoofLink, and they weren't prior. So if you looked at it and that was a reason maybe that you didn't sign up with us because your prospect checklist was a little different than ours, or your job checklist was a little different than ours, now it's completely customizable by company. All right, so now that we've got that claim filed, I'm going to open this estimate back up. You're going to see that now I've got this $2,000 deductible. And am I going to finance that? We do provide financing payment options. We are not integrated currently with any one finance operation, but we do have a Zapier set up. So if they have a Zapier and you want to try to connect those two, you can. Otherwise, you just click this financing button and you can just type in what is their down payment, how much they finance, and it'll make your contract correct. A lot of guys handle that outside the system through like a third-party app, and that's fine too, but it gives you the ability, especially if you're going to do any in-house financing on deductibles or whatnot, that you can keep track of that. But we're going to just say cash for now. I just want you to know that the finance option is in there, and we will be expanding that with some partners in the future that want to integrate that directly. But for now, we're going to just proceed as if this was a cash deal. So let's save this contract to Job Docs. Now, once we've built the estimate and estimate builder, now we have the option to present this to the customer any way that we want to. And so we can just send them an estimate. We can send them an insurance packet with pricing. All of this, again, is customizable. How do you want to initially present this to the customer? I'm going to say insurance packet with pricing so that you can see kind of the whole deal. But this also allows you to give multiple looks of the same job without having to rebuild it a cash way versus an insurance way, et cetera, et cetera. Once you've built the job in RoofLink, you can show it to the customer however you want. Okay, so it's in there. So now I go back to the job and I open up my docs. And there it is. This is all electronically signable. We created our own version of a DocuSign type software within RoofLink that we own, that you don't have to pay per packet on. We own it completely. And not only does it allow you to get electronically signable documents, but it auto imports the information in there for you. So you don't have to go fill out the form. This thing, if I had an email address for this client, which I can just put one in there real quick. So we'll open up our documents, and there is our DocuSignable packet. Now, it works way better than DocuSign, which we used to be partnered with, but we ended up building our own. And the reason we built our own is because we wanted it to pre-fill these forms out for you. We didn't want somebody to have to go in there and create an estimate and then go copy it all into a DocuSign. So we built that tool ourselves. We own it. You don't have to pay for it now. That's really cool. So it's unlimited electronically signable documents, and they will come pre-filled for you, and then all you have to do is sign them. So let's look at this contract preview here. Our deductible is $2,000. Non-recoverable is $200 because we're not doing the gutters. We've got the duration upgrade for $1,500, the military discount for $1,500. We're not doing the gutters. And so the remaining balance on deductible and upgrades is $936.25 out of your pocket. Here's the payment schedule. $5,000 due upon contract signing, $5,000 due upon material drop, and the final payment of $6,200 due upon job completion, depreciation, release. Here's our total. It's going to match insurance pricing. And then a really gnarly contract that comes with the RoofLink software package. So You don't have to buy contracts from anybody. We've got really good ones in here. They can be tweaked to your specifications, or you can use your own if you've already got some that you want to use, as long as they have fields that tie into things that we're collecting in the database. And we'll go through that with your onboarding. Some people have some, really crazy contracts with all kinds of check marks and stuff like that. That obviously won't translate over to an electronically signable document, but ours basically we'll do that for you, or we can kind of coach you down that path of making yours work in our format. But once you've done this, it eliminates all of the need for scanning documents in. Our Field app will have a scanner in it, but that's not out yet, and really we don't need them because all of our stuff is signed electronically, so you really don't need that. But once you go paperless, you'll never go back. It really is a good move to make, and keeps everything organized for you because it's all in this job document. And if I want to give this person a different type of presentation, if I want to include a roof layout summary, so I can import that document from here. And I can actually even give them a copy of the drawing that I made. If we go to the roof layout and I hit save to docs, I can actually combine these job documents. So I can do my roof measurement summary, my insurance packet with pricing. Actually, I want to do roof layout and then insurance packet with pricing. And then I can submit that. So what that's going to do is combine all those PDFs into one document that will stay under that 10 megabyte email size limitation they put on you. So here's my combined document here. So let's look at that. This gives you a preview of it. So there's our roof measurement report with the policy number, claim number, totals. There's our drawing. There's all of the extras. There's our estimate. You can include as many photos. You can combine photos with documents. That combined job document feature is really cool because it eliminates the need for PDF Expert or anything like that where you're trying to put things together. It works really great on the supplement side of our software as well. To do supplements in this system is really simple. You basically will just create a product library of supplements that you commonly use, and you'll just add them to the bottom of your estimate. Let me show you that real quick. So let's say that this job needed extra layers of felt. So we'll just select our supplement extra layer of felt, and you can buy the Xactimate pricing once a quarter and use that as your price guide, or you can use things that you've seen on insurance paperwork or make up your own price and just make sure that it's higher than Xactimate. And the insurance company will adjust you down to Xactimate pricing most times, but this is going to eliminate the need for you to have to use Xactimate. So let's say that there's 55 squares of extra layers of felt, and that's going to request $1,100. And then once that's approved by insurance company, we'll just type that in here. But let's upload some photos of that. Well, let's say all of these are photos of that. So that's going to upload those photos into my photo gallery as well as put them on my supplement document. Okay, so now all I've got to do is hit Save Insurance Invoice to Job Docs. Your document is being prepared. This just eliminated my need to pay somebody X number of percentage or dollars a month to do all my supplements for me. It's real simple. Take the pictures of what you commonly get supplemented for and then add them to your insurance invoice like I just did in 2 seconds. And now let's look at our documents, and this has created an insurance invoice for me and put the pictures in tow labeled. We can also annotate those photos if we want to. Here inside the photo gallery, if I want to mark this up, And if I want to write on it, and I can change the color, whatever I want to do. Draw an arrow, and then I can save that, and it'll ask me, do I want to keep the original or discard the original? Discard the original. And I can go through there and annotate a bunch of photos and then put those on my supplement packet if I feel like I need to mark the damage. So there's a lot of ways you can use that tool, but look at what all we've combined. Photos, documents, roof measuring, automated estimates, material orders and work orders, and then our mapping tool, which is essentially going to give you the ability for not just prospecting like some of these prospecting apps that we've seen, but it's going to take this job all the way through job completion. So let's pretend that I've already done this job and I want to submit it for approval. Now that this is an active job, let's say that they've signed the contract and I've approved it. When I go back and look at my map, you're going to notice that this dot has changed colors. So it's not just going to keep track of my prospects and leads, it's actually going to keep track of it all the way through. Now it's a green dot. So here's the map legend. Deleted means we've deleted that opportunity. Blue is closed means we've done the roof, they've paid us in full. Green is approved, meaning it's in progress but not paid in full. Purple is prospect. Yellow is address only, and then orange is denied. So if another hailstorm comes through this area, we're going to have dots all over the place, and they age with time. So if I zoom out and get on an area where we've done some work before, you'll notice these light green dots. Because this is my demo account, these are dots that I marked approved, but I never marked as paid in full 123 days ago. So they think about things fading in the sun. This gives you a really good idea of how old and new opportunities are. And then if you get a new hailstorm over that area, you can use our weather tool to decide. It'll give you notifications, and you can say, hey, look, you've had hail within a certain distance that you predetermined of these pins, and you can go back and go, man, look at all these roofs we've done before, let's retarget these people, and it'll actually give you a list of them that you can send an email or a text to straight from here. Select all. I can send an email, I can assign new reps, I can assign marketing reps, or I can delete them. If they have their phones plugged into the system, if they've verified their text through their profile, you can also send them all an email and say, hey, you got hail last night, let us come back and reinspect your roof. So this prospecting map and the weather technology behind it is going to give you all of the weather tools that you need to be able to find work that nobody else knows about, because these are not just storm swaths. We are capturing the radar data as these events occur and storing them. And so if you ever want to go back, and it basically gives you the ability of watching the radar on the news the night of the event and going, oh, I want to go to that place, that place. It may not have made the storm swath, and that's fine. The storm swath people want to make sure that they give you the most accurate storm swath available. They just don't want to be wrong. We want to give you reasons to go check out roofs. We want to show you, hey, maybe it hit hail here. Maybe it didn't. It was reported right here, but this red signature on the radar looks pretty good. I at least can make a case. If I've got damage in soft metals, that's one of the biggest compliments that we get from roofing contractors is, hey man, your weather tool helped me find an area that nobody else knew about, because it doesn't concentrate everybody in the same area. You got to do your own research. You got to find your spots. You got to get in there and look at all of the historical weather data and determine where you want to go work. And so it kind of spreads guys out, and we're finding work that nobody else knew about, and it's giving our guys, it's stretching the storms out longer for people. And if you just look, as I zoom out at all of the areas in the last 3 to 5 years, there's been thousands of hail reports in this area. It's taken a while to load because there's so many. In fact, I'm gonna change this to 445 in just this zoomed in area, which is not a very big area. That's about half of the Austin Metroplex. So there, 2904 we're up to. There's been a ton of them. Now we're counting everything from half inch on from years 3 to 5 back, but we can turn that up and just say we want to see the 1.5 inch stuff, and that's a lot smaller number. And we can look at that radar. This was from back in 09. That was a doozy. And we can track that storm as it goes through the area. And we can thin that out and see if there's any houses in that area. We've shown you the weather tool. We've shown you how to create an estimate, how to measure a roof in RoofLink. We've done all of this on one platform. You haven't had to go outside the system at all. And now I'm going to show you how to work this thing through the system from a production standpoint. So now you'll be able to find it under Jobs Not Approved. So if you're sitting in the office and you're the production person, that's a tool that you're going to keep an eye on. So we'll go under our production tab. And if all you do is production, you don't need these other tabs. You'll just have your workflow set up as a production workflow, and you won't need all these additional tabs unless there's other things that you want to keep an eye on. So our Jobs Not Approved, here it is, Gary Allen, 410 County Road, Spicewood. So let's open this job up. We want to make sure that we have a material order, that we have a work order, that we have an estimate, which should be in there because they were created by the computer. Any pictures that we require, inspection forms. This is your point to make sure that you're verifying that your sales guys are holding the standard that you've set. So you'll look at this checklist, and there should be a check and everything on this checklist. If there's steps that you don't need in here, like there's obviously a bunch of stuff I skipped just for this demo purpose, but if you don't have your guys do that, take it off your checklist. That way your approval person can just log in here and go, yep, there's a checkbox and everything, and yes, everything makes sense, and then she'll approve that. The moment that she approves it, it comes off of that Jobs Not Approved widget and it goes into an active jobs widget. That's everything that's an active job that we're working on that we haven't been paid for yet. So now I'll go into my active jobs widget, and there he is, Gary Allen. He's an approved job. We'll click on his name. It'll open up this job. And we can order our material. All we have to do to order material is select the supplier location we want it to come from. Hit Save Changes. And we'll hit Place Order. We'll select the delivery date and time. And it will automatically put any recipients on here. So if you want to send it to your counter guy, if you want to send it to your supply rep, whoever gets your orders from you currently, and you'll submit that. Now keep in mind, we are sending them a material order with our pricing on it. I can't tell you how many times $1,000 mistakes were made to my detriment because some $12 an hour counter guy didn't know my pricing arrangement with ABC. And if we paid that invoice, chances are that's money that's lost forever. So we're going to send them the invoice. This is the amount that we're paying for this material, and it says on the bottom of the material order, if you can't do it for this price, don't send it. But now our order's been placed. So if we go back and look at this job, it's an active job, but the material has been ordered. There is a checklist item here for material ordered, and now we're going to schedule the roof. Same thing as the material order. We're going to select our crew. We're going to hit Save Changes, and we're going to schedule that. And all of this is creating calendar events for us. This syncs with your Google Calendar. We also have a great RoofLink calendar that I'm not going to get into in this demo because it's just a lot. But we can notify our crew and our customer. That eliminates a position of having to call customers and saying, hey, we're coming next Tuesday. No, we're going to notify the crew of the day that we're scheduling for and the customer by checking that box. And it will put the customer, it will send the customer the email as well. But it will not send them your work order. So they're not going to get the pricing. They're just going to receive the notification that the roof is going on the schedule for that day. And we'll put a message in here. Look forward. And we'll submit it. Okay, now job's been scheduled. So one person feasibly can order material and schedule jobs because they're not having to call around and talk to suppliers and get price and get this. Look, it's all in here. Here you go. It's the supplier's job to notify us if they can't fill the order. If they do, we'll just put it on hold. And here's how you do that. If they call back and say, hey, we don't have this, okay, no problem. Cancel the order and reschedule it with somebody else. If it goes, if there's a rain delay, okay, no problem. Put it on hold, reschedule it. So everything's done from right here. Doesn't require any phone calls. Everybody can see what's going on. And then the sales guide would mark that the roof is complete on that work order. So this is how we pay our roofers. We've scheduled the job, but now it's the sales guy or project manager's job to mark that job as complete. Once that's complete, it tells our office it's okay to pay them, and then they pay them. And once they pay them, then that syncs with QuickBooks. It's not obviously on this demo account since this is all fake here. But all of these checklist items get filled out automatically as these tasks are being completed in the system. So with one person, you can run a team of sales guys of about, we advertise 10, but I'm going to tell you right now, we've got, Shauna at our office can manage a team of 35 sales reps by herself. So in order for all of them and never miss a beat. And so it just depends on, what kind of person you have there, if they're able to move through a list quickly. But I talk to a lot of contractors that have like one person in the office for every 5 sales guys. And that's really hard to make a profit at the end of the day through the wintertime when you've got 15 people in the field and 3 or 4 people in the office. So again, total automation. We want one system that does everything, and RoofLink does that for you, from estimating, material ordering, job scheduling. We've eliminated all the headaches and bottlenecks in the roofing business, and we hope you enjoy what you've seen today. And check out our YouTube channel because we're going to be doing some live demos with some contractors where they can ask questions about problems that they have. And our goal is to really be that one-source solution for roofing contractors. I hope you think what we built is as cool as we do. Look forward to hearing from you soon. Send us a request and let's book a live demo. I'll do a demo with you and walk you through this, and feel free to ask as many questions as you want. There's no way that we can solve all of this in a virtual demo because, again, it is an end-to-end operating system for your entire company. And so setting up your processes, your people, and your products is something that we take pride in doing, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.